I took the job out of desperation. Security guard, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. at an old, decommissioned textile warehouse on the edge of town. The pay was decent, and the only requirement was to walk the perimeter every 2 hours and make sure no one was squatting inside. Easy money, I thought. The place was massive, a sprawling brick behemoth that smelled of dust, mold, and forgotten industry. The first few weeks were uneventful. Just me, my flashlight, and the echoing silence. The only sounds were the wind whistling through broken window panes and the occasional creak of the old structure settling. I'd spend most of my time in the small, glass-walled office near the main entrance, scrolling through my phone, trying to ignore the oppressive darkness that seemed to press in from all sides. It started subtly. During my 1 a.m. rounds, I'd pass the loading dock, and I'd swear I could hear a faint, rhythmic thump, 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 coming from the upper floors. It sounded like a heavy sack being dragged across the concrete. But when I checked the log, no one else was scheduled to be in the building. I dismissed it as pipes or the wind playing tricks. Then came the smell, a sickly, sweet, metallic odor that was strongest near the old administrative offices on the second floor. It was the smell of old blood, but mixed with something else, something rotten and faintly chemical. I reported it to my supervisor, who just mumbled something about old industrial waste and told me to spray some air freshener. The real terror began on a Tuesday night. I was on my 3 a.m. round, deep in the main storage bay. My flashlight beam cut through the darkness, illuminating towering shelves of empty spools and rusted machinery. That's when I saw it. Near the back wall, where the shadows were thickest, a single child-sized handprint was pressed into the dust on a metal cabinet. It was fresh. The dust was disturbed, and the print was clear. My blood ran cold. I knew for a fact that this area hadn't been touched in years. I backed away slowly, my heart hammering against my ribs. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe a kid had broken in, but how? All the doors were locked and the windows were too high. I retreated to the office and locked the door, my hands shaking as I called my supervisor. He didn't answer. I sat there, staring at the door, trying to convince myself it was nothing. That's when the lights went out. Not just the office light, but the entire emergency system. The building was plunged into absolute, suffocating darkness. My flashlight was my only friend. And then I heard it again, but this time it wasn't faint. It was right outside the office door. The sound of something heavy being dragged, but now it was accompanied by a wet, scraping noise. Scrape, thump, scrape, thump. I held my breath, pressing myself against the wall. Through the thin glass of the office door, I saw a shadow move. It wasn't a person. It was too low to the ground, too wide, and it moved with a jerky, unnatural motion. Then, a sound that will haunt me forever. A low, guttural gasp, followed by a choked, wet whisper right outside the door. It wasn't a word. It was just a sound of pure, agonizing need. I didn't wait. I smashed the window behind me with my flashlight, scrambled out, and ran. I ran across the parking lot, not stopping until I reached my car. I drove away and never looked back. I quit the next morning. I never told anyone the full story, not even the police. They would have thought I was crazy. But I know what I heard, and I know what I saw. Whatever was in that warehouse wasn't human. and it was looking for something. I still have nightmares about the smell and that wet, scraping sound. And sometimes, when I'm alone in the dark, I swear I can hear that agonizing whisper just on the edge of silence.